Why did an airliner cruising in broad daylight in fine weather begin a long, controlled descent into the French Alps, slamming into a mountain at nearly 450 miles an hour? The Airbus A320, operated by Germanwings, part of Lufthansa, was on its way from Barcelona to Dusseldorf. There was no word of trouble from the cockpit. The twin-engine jet was reduced to confetti that allowed no hope for any of the 144 passengers and crew of 6. Most were German or Spanish. We have extensive coverage tonight, beginning with Mark Phillips near the scene of the crash.
The plane went down in the hostile landscape of the French Alps. Trying to find the wreckage became the first priority. There was never any real hope of finding survivors. To make matters worse, more snow is forecast, which will make retrieving the bodies of victims and examining the wreckage to determine why this plane went down all the more difficult. Flying conditions, even for helicopters, is expected to deteriorate, and there are few roads or trails. Jean-Louis Beatrix, a hiker, was accompanying a rescue team to the crash site. There are no pieces anymore, he said. There is nothing. The plane had totally disappeared. The plane had climbed steadily after its 10:01 departure from Barcelona up to its cruising altitude of 38,000 feet, but it only stayed there for 1 minute before beginning a steep descent that lasted 8 minutes. Germanwings President Thomas Winkelmann said the last contact between the airplane and the French air traffic control cut off at 6,000 feet. Early reports said the crew had sent out a distress signal, but that was later determined to have been issued by air traffic control when it lost contact with the plane. The cause of the apparent malfunction is unknown, but witnesses on the ground report no sounds of explosion. Another eyewitness said there was no noise, there was no smoke, there was nothing special. The A320 is a workhorse of many airline fleets and has an excellent safety record in its more than 2 decades of service. German and European air safety standards are high. The plane had a safety check just yesterday. The search has now been called off for the night and the weather is closing in. French investigators say they have located one of the plane's black boxes and will begin to examine its contents within hours. Hopefully, Scott, finding the first clues as to how this tragedy happened.
Mark Phillips for us tonight near the scene of the crash in the French Alps. Mark, thank you.